So we have a bit of time off this week, not heading out on any trips, catching up on some editing and some other homework. And we thought it'd be nice to do a tent review. I put it through the ringer over the last 2 years and kind of compiled a list of things I like and that I don't like about it. It's the Nemo 2-person Hornet, and we're going to get to that right now with the help of my lovely assistant Diana. So here's your complete setup. 10 poles, 10 pegs, the fly and the actual tent, your footprint, and measuring tape for reference. So the tent does come with an optional footprint. I would recommend it. I wouldn't use that tent in any kind of backcountry setting without it. It's pretty thin. It's a 1500mm ripstop nylon. It's fairly durable, but with anything ultralight just requires a bit of extra care and footprint essential. So we're going to set that up right now. Instructions recommend the label side up when you're putting the footprint down. So this is a semi-freestanding tent. So we're going to show you the setup without the fly on it, and we'll go through a few of the things that I actually do like about this tent. So one thing I do like about it is the length of the poles. It's extremely packable. I put them beside a full-size set of poles from a Woods 3-person tent, which is a bit of an exaggeration in terms of size, but it gives you an idea of the packability. It is hot. I wish I had a personal assistant. Oh, thank you.
I'll take it too.
Refreshing. So 10 pegs. It came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pegs. I had to add another 2 from an old tent that I had, or I didn't have enough for the full fly setup, plus all the pegs in the corner of the tent. This is the sleeve I was telling you about. Handy dandy little repair device. But yeah, they could have sprung for another 2 pegs. And also these ones don't have the handy pull straps on them when you're ripping them out of hard ground or playing tent lawn darts. We had to stop the filmmaking. There was just a hit and run here. We heard the crunch, and a cyclist was involved. A gentleman in the greens calling 911, and Diana's just making sure that the guy's okay. Well, never a dull moment at Otter Hill Adventure Cove. Back to the tent review. I've tied off these strings as the average length that I have when I'm setting it up, and it's got a convenient little tightening mechanism here so you can firm it up after you've got the spike in the ground, which is really convenient. So you see this side is a little bit more taut than this side. It sags a bit, and that's actually part of the design of this tent. Once we put the fly on, I'll show you in a moment. So really nice to use this tent when the fly is off on a starry night or if it's really warm. One thing I like about this tent, small footprint. As you can see, this is a tiny little piece of grass, and when real estate is scarce on craggly or tiny campsites, or maybe there's just one little area between a couple of trees, I can always just squeeze this tent in. I never have had a site where I couldn't get at least a relatively flat spot and just pin those corners in, even with the fly on. So really, really advantageous. Brace on the top, little bit small. Some of the MSR tents, the Hubba Bubba I think, and maybe the copper something or other, has a wider brace and keeps the walls a bit stiffer. This one actually needs the fly to pull the walls out so that it's a nice taut dome when you're sleeping inside. Not the best design, it is what it is. One thing about this tent, not my favorite. Any tent I've ever had, it's really imperative to me that you can open the zipper with one hand. I almost never have two hands free at the same time when I'm making camp, setting up, doing 50 things at once, cutting wood, filming animals, thinking about philosophy, trying to perfect cold fusion. It's a lot. So I really do need a one-handed opening tent, and this one always snags. Coming up this one side, it snags there every time, super annoying. So you have to be mindful, and then you have to drop all your gear, and then you step on your glasses and break them. Wow, making videos is hard work. I'm feeling a little peckish. Wish I had a personal assistant. Oh, thank you. Delicious. So this is the 15D no-seam mesh. It's been pretty durable. You can see some of the blood stains from squashing mosquitoes in the middle of the night. No tears so far, so it is pretty rugged. On the inside of the tent, a few features that they tried to market that neither here nor there. This is the light diffusing light pocket. And the claim is you put your headlamp in there and it diffuses through the tent and creates this nice orange glow. It diffuses nothing, and really it doesn't increase the candle power on your light at all in the middle of the night. I use a separate light which I hang on a little piece of paracord. The other thing, if you put a Fenix or one of those high-powered lights in here, they get really hot and you'd end up burning the tent down and setting yourself on fire in the middle of the night, which I think we can all agree is pretty much a trip killer. The other thing they added, one pocket you can put your cell phone in. However, it sags. I've had it fall on my head in the middle of the night, which really is unfortunate because at the time I was having an utterly fantastic dream, which doesn't happen all the time, and just shocked awake. Would have preferred if they added a pocket here or just something on the vertical side for your phone or like a map or your book. That would have been a nice feature, but they've got it's the white no-seam on the side and then the black no-seam on the top, so that you can get a better view of the sky. So these little stirrups, what I was referring to earlier, pull out the sidewall so that there's not so much sag. Not the best design. I can see what they're going for, but just a simple stabilizer bar that came out a bit further could pull that out and be much more effective, I think, anyway. On the rear side of the tent, they've got these handy little clips, and then you can stake your pole in. Makes it really sturdy. Love that feature. Back side of the tent, they've raised the sidewall in the back to increase ventilation, and it might not look like a huge difference, but it does. On a warm night, when you don't want to have the fly off, maybe it's calling for rain in the morning, huge difference. Really does increase the ventilation. Little Velcro tags to go around the aluminum pole. Just kind of keeps things symmetrical and taut throughout the tent. They have them on the other side and on the center pole as well. So all in all, pretty rugged, versatile, water resistant, wind resistant tent. I've had it in all manner of weather over the last 2 years, tripping in windy, rainy, heat spells, snow, and everything in between. And it's held up really well. And that's about it for the Nemo Hornet Osmo 2-person. They say 2-person. You'd have to be pretty friendly to sleep 2 people in here for even more than a night. You get some gear in here. The vestibule space is enough that you can have your shoes and maybe a small pack. But 2 people in gear in here would just be a squash fest. It's a 1-person tent. And it's super light. I think it's only 2 pounds, 5 ounces or 8 ounces, and super compact to stuff in the bottom of the pack. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. I should have shaved today if I knew I was going to be on camera. Wish I had a personal assistant. Thank you.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. Well performed. Next segment though, I'm really gonna need you to sell the assistant bit. Great character acting, just if you could get more. Hey, where are you going?